Hey y'all, it's Chris from Pride Rides, coming to you from my dining room. You probably think I'm partially clothed for a thirst trap for social media. Typical. But no. Today we're going to talk about layering for fat biking. So I've got some of my typical layers put out here. We'll start with base layers. So, I've got on a synthetic shirt. I like the ones with a built-in hoodie, a little extra coverage, and wool leggings or long johns, if you will, long underwear, and wool socks by Darn Tough, because those are my favorite, and they're really warm, and they're made in Vermont. The next layer depends on the temperature, or if you run cold. I normally only wear a secondary layer if it's under 20 degrees. So another long sleeve, like a bike jersey, or just another thin long sleeve layer. Love this one by SCR, Defend Trans Youth. Then we got the vest. I love the vest. It's best for temperature control and arm movement, so you don't get too bulky, but you keep the core warm. Yeah. Over the long johns, I just do a semi-waterproof or waterproof, windproof pant layer. I will favor stuff by Cool or even on Carhartts. Right now I'm trying out these Wrangler All-Terrains. And then for me, it's a coat. A shell, preferably not insulated, so you don't add any extra bulk. But just something that's got like Gore-Tex, or is definitely waterproof or windproof. Windproof for sure. If you don't have a windproof jacket, then you should definitely add that second long sleeve layer for warmth. Now let's talk about headwear. Now, like this hooded one comes with that first layer face and head covering, but most base layers don't. If you're just wearing a regular mountain bike or road helmet, you will want to put a hat underneath of some sorts. So, if you run cold, I suggest a thin merino wool, maybe smart wool hat. Unfortunately, our favorite beanies are a little too thick to fit under most helmets comfortably. You could also try just a cycling hat with an ear protector, or just the ear protector by itself if you want to let your top of your head vent if you tend to run hot. Essential wear is the buff. Buffs are great because they can cover your face, cover your ears, cover your head, leave just the little tiny eyeballs out. Now for eyewear, I love a good pair of sunglasses, but most of the time these fog up when you're wearing the buff and a hat and not having good airflow. So I suggest doing a sea goggle. That works really well. They don't fog up, and they keep your whole face real warm and protected from the wind. If you're wearing a winter helmet, like this one, with pads on the inside, you can stay pretty warm with just the helmet. Covers your ears, and you can skip that internal level, unless again you tend to run really cold. On extra cold days, you can add a second buff. I like these neoprene covers. It keeps the ice buildup a little bit more at bay, especially if you're hovering around that 0 mark. So you can see this is like my pretty extreme. If it's definitely around 0, I'm fully covered. I look like an alien. It's amazing. No wind or cold is getting in here. And I'm going to stay toasty warm and enjoy my time on the bike. Now for gloves, I prefer these sort of like insulated leather work style gloves. Keep some of that dexterity of the fingers while also staying warm. But some folks prefer a wool glove underneath some mittens, and mittens do a better job of holding in that warm air and keeping your fingers warm. We'll throw in some hand warmers and toe warmers to do some extra warming work for you. Then for shoes, just wear what keeps your feet warm and dry. I wear a muck similar boot, or you could wear a sorrel, something like that. Last year I wore Blundstones and they were super warm, the insulated kind, so whatever works to keep you and your tootsies super warm. A little note about why I prefer layering over just like big or bulkier insulated jackets or snow pants for things like biking is it's a cardio type sport, and so tend to get warmer during the activity and sweat a little, and then those layers just get wet, and so things like wool or synthetics on a base layer and the ability to shed or add a layer as you get cold or hot is really ideal. There's a lot of great winter bike specific gear out there, and you can have a lot of fun setting up your gear closet. But if you don't have it and you want to start biking now, these are just some great things that you might have from other sports or just from living in a winter climate, whether you can find at thrift stores or in the bargain basements at gear shops and stuff like that. At the end of the day, the name of the game is to stay warm and dry. So wear what keeps you warm while you're outside.